guys, welcome back to this channel. Today we will be doing the Afonso Jose, a very interesting chart. He was involved in folk music, also as a singer, and then he had this change. When we hear about change, it's a parivartana probably. So there was this change to left-wing extreme politics, because of which he was jailed for 1 month, also fired from the teacher post. So we will see how it's there. So we will learn basically Dasha, how to see the work. We'll talk about the health, how to see the general level of health, and also the timing, when I expect challenge when it comes to health matters. We will also see how to check if I will be involved into some kind of fighting for rights, submission, or anti-status quo efforts. And we will also learn how this main yoga in your chart will control the external circumstances which will guide the direction of your life. We will also learn about Rahu and Mars, what this yoga mean in matters of health, and also 11 from the moon for this particular health disorder this person had. So we have nice mix here. We have combination of Venus and Mercury related to Arudha Lagna, because Arudha Lagna is in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is loaded by Venus, and Venus is in the sign of Mercury. So we have this Venus and Mercury, and Moon here especially is showing singing. So if you have this Mercury-Venus related to Arudha Lagna, then maybe if the rest of the chart is supporting, you may consider also the career life in the art. But also he was very much into politics, into philosophy, into views. So that Arudha Lagna is in that 9th house with the Jupiter. So that Jupiter 9th house is all about this higher wisdom. And for being involved in politics, we need that Sun. So the Sun is also here aspecting the Arudha Lagna. So also for you to consider, if you want to working in the government sector, then normally we need the Sun touching the Arudha Lagna. So Mercury is in the 3rd from Arudha Lagna, so the career life is not necessarily connected to the greed, to this financial motive. It's more about the creativity, spirituality, and so on. Now 11th house is very interesting because it's the 7th from the 5th. So 5th is natural Leo. It's all about the government, about the structure. This is all the Sun reign, the Sun kingdom. 11th house, this is the area of Tvastratitya, who was fighting with the Indra. In natural zodiac, this is the sign of Aquarius, which is loaded by Rahu. So Rahu is anti-government. So if you have any plans in 6 and 11, so these people may fight with the current mainstream ideas. They may be working in the counterculture, in this anti-mainstream, anti-status quo, and pushing some rights. Sometimes when there is no Sattva guna, no Jupiter, no new rights in the perspective, this can also give some kind of criminal behavior. So we have seen this nice blend of the art of Venus and Mars, and also this blend of Sun and Jupiter for this higher wisdom. Now we will see how this is changing, why the person was moving. So we also see that this parivartana is involving that 11th house of revolutionary, and he was basically changing from that art, which was serving the people, right? We have this moon, Venus, nicely in the 10th house. And he is going now to the 3rd from Arudha Lagna and 11th house Mercury. So he's going to that revolutionary and more spiritual approach, higher perspective, doing something for the society, serving someone. So the 6th, 11th house are coming into play. Now, how we can ensure how it will end? What is the intensity? We have to see here 12 from the Atmakaraka. If that somehow is related to Lagna or Lagna Lord, the person can end up in jail. And he was serving the jail time for 1 month. So if you have Atmakaraka in 2nd from the Lagna or Arudha Lagna, then the Lagna Lagnesha can be in 12 from the Atmakaraka. Atmakaraka is the planet with the highest degrees. So you can check that in your chart if you have this yoga, because that may show some kind of confinement or jail time. And in this case, we have Atmakaraka in the 12th, and 12 from that we have Mercury and Sun in the 11th house. He was also arrested in the 43 year of age, and this is the natural age of Rahu. Rahu is in the 8th, so also something inauspicious, and this is aspecting this Mars in the 12th. Okay guys, if you like this video so far, please consider clicking the like button. You are helping me to make this video more viral, more people can learn about the Jyotish, the techniques to interpret the Vedic chart. Also, share this with your friends, comment if this resonates with you, subscribe if you like to get notification about similar videos in the future. future. And let's go back to this analysis. So now where we are on this Mars and Rahu, if we look closer, we have here the Graha Malika Yoga. All the planets are between Rahu and Mars. And we can also take the yoga of these planets. So Rahu and Mars is the combination for having problems with the lungs. Especially we will see that the Anubhava or the other trine is that Saturn in the 4th house. So 4th house is also about the lungs. So one indication of this autoimmune disease, ALS, is that after some time person may have problems with breathing because all these muscles here related to this area is getting weaker. So this person then has to be sustained by the machine in that advanced stage of this disease. So here we see that this Rahu and Mars are there. Now, why this is so important in this chart? Because all the planets are there between the Rahu and Mars, and the Saturn is in 8 from the Arudha Lagna. So 3rd and 8 from the Arudha Lagna are showing the circumstances of demise, and this Mars is at Makaraka in 12. So this will be very important part of life for the native. Now, if we ask ourselves how to check the health intensity here, take the Mercury and Sun. They are together, the Lagna Lord and the Sun. This is something you can check in your chart how they are placed. First of all, in the sign and the house, and also relationship between the Lagna Lord and Sun. This will tell you a lot about your health. So here we have that in 11th house. The 11th house has the nature of the sudden fall. It can go down if it's afflicted. Also important thing is that this happened in Mercury Sun, and Mercury here is in 12th house together with Sun in the Navamsha. So we know that first of all the Navamsha is accurate, and this is the Lagna Lord from the Rashi, which shows the general state of the body. So you can check that also in your chart. How is the Sun, how is the Lagna Lord placed in the Navamsha? If they are in good sign, a good house, this will tell you a lot about your health. Very important point is that when we talk about the autoimmune diseases, the 11 from Moon has to be involved. And guess what? This Rahu-Mars combination, which was showing the health problem related to lungs, especially related to breathing, is in the 11th from the Moon. We have this Rahu here, and this Rahu is aspecting the Mars in the 12th house. Going back to his professional life, we see that he was working as a teacher also. 10th from Moon is Jupiter here, and in the Dashamsa chart we have Jupiter in the 2nd house. So the planets in the 2nd, 6th and 10th will show where you can work. So this is the easiest way to find the job which is supported by your environment. Just check the planets in the 2nd, 6th and 10th. This will not tell you necessarily about the sector or place where you're working. You can take the signs of this planet. This will tell you more about the place, like the Pisces can be hospitals. But how you are working, what is your personal dynamics, what you can get from the work, this will be more in Rashi Navamsha, but definitely you should be using the Dashamsa, so you can check these planets in the 2nd, 6th and 10 to get information what you can do in life. So when he was fired, how to check when I can be fired? Where and when is the danger? So we can see Saturn and Ketu was the Dasha, and Saturn is in the 8th house in Dashamsa, and Ketu is with that Jupiter in the 2nd. Jupiter is also 8th Lord, so it has the possibility to end your work. So in Dasha of 3rd and 8th, when these planets are coming in your chart, in your life, then you may either change your work, maybe be fired if this is some negative yoga like here, Saturn, Ketu. We also see that this Ketu is in 6th from the Mahadasha, so this can be also something sudden, something unexpected, problematic, and so on. We also see that the 10th Lord from Rashi, this Mercury, is in the 5th house of knowledge. So based on that, the Taurus Lagna is right. It's showing that he's working with the knowledge, right? And the Jupiter in the 2nd. This is his position as a teacher. And the Saturn is in 8th and Ketu with 8th Lord. So he was fired in that Dasha from this position of a teacher. So someone can ask why this Rahu and Mars doesn't have the connection to the 12th house in Navamsha, but we need to take into consideration that Mercury and Jupiter are in the parivartana. First of all, this Moon and Mercury yoga may have some bad effect on your brain. So we have this Moon and Mercury, the Moon and Sun yoga in the Navamsha, and Venus, Mars has these two yogas. This is something you don't want to have in any Varga. He has both in the Navamsha chart. So now we can say that the death can come from the Jupiter because of that parivartana, and then this Jupiter will be aspected by that Mars and Rahu combination, which is in the 11th house in the Navamsha. Okay guys, so the takeaway from this video is that we have to check the Lagna Lord and Sun in the Navamsha to check our health. If we have a parivartana related to the 10th house, 11th house, then this can mean sudden change of job. This could mean end of some project, or in extreme cases like this, being fired, especially in the 11th house. This is end of work because this is the Maraka 2nd house from the 10th house. We also have seen that if you have any plans in 11, I would add also the 6th. This can give some kind of mission or anti-government dedication, motivation, direction, line. We also learned that the Mercury and Venus related to Aruda Lagna normally has to be involved in art sector, so if you want to be there, check these planets. We also see that Jupiter and Sun is more for philosophy, for government work and so on, and we have seen this nice synthesis of both these sectors related to his Aruda Lagna. Again, we have seen how important is the Graha Malika Yoga, because that will control the whole fortune of this chart. And here it's negative because it's from 8th house to the 12th house. So we have planet by planet. If they are 4 or 5 planets in the line, house by house, then this is Graha Malika Yoga, and this will control your whole chart. So check your chart if you have such yogas and see the beginning, the end planet, how they are placed, because they will be very important. They will basically show what is your life about, the main external, at least, push which will guide or direct your life. You may have some different desires or some inner other agenda, but the external circumstances definitely will be pressed by this Graha Malika Yoga in your chart or any important yoga you have. We have also seen how the 12th house in the Navamsha is showing health concerns. So check the Dasha if it's related to 12th house. You may have some health concerns in the time, so you can prepare more. And also in the Shamsa we have the 2nd, 6th and 10th. If you are choosing about your career life, you can check also the planets there, and if what you expect or desire is there in these houses, you can also find some peace or maybe consider some other type of work or line of work. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it from me. I hope you get some value from this video. If you do, please let me know by clicking the like button, share this with your friends, comment if you have any questions, subscribe for more, and see you in the next one.